Hello and welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. Really looking forward to taking you through this. Say hello to the first people coming through. Thank you very much for joining. Just going to give a few more seconds for more people to come in and join us. Wonderful. Okay, great. So thank you very much for joining me. My name is Leon Hady. I'm the founder of Guide Education. I was formerly a head teacher, and to go all the way back through my teaching career, I was also a teaching assistant and a reading assistant right back when I started, and before that when I was volunteering. And that's what got me into teaching in the first place. And obviously, really became quite dedicated because I enjoyed teaching so much, and then made my way through head teacher. So if you are someone interested in education, or if you're a head teacher who's joining us, interested in the kind of journey or what the value of the HLTA is, then more than happy to discuss it with you. And obviously, if you're new to teaching and you're looking to just learn a few bits and find out how this fits in the schema of maybe a possible teaching career for yourself, I hope we can elucidate and shine a little bit of a light on some of those items for us. So if you haven't been into a webinar with me before, I'm just going to try and talk at you. It's not one of those ones where we kind of do a lot of interaction simply because I try and get the maximum delivery opportunity in it. Text and comments are always welcome. I'll be breaking in the middle just to talk on those, and then at the end, and obviously at the end it's a lot more free and fine. And obviously there's a one-to-one link if you would like to discuss any of the given items. If you're with a school and you're looking to do certain items, there's a one-to-one link that you can have a discussion with me on any of the items in your time frame or in your school. And there'll be a video of this available, obviously, on the website. So just to talk a little bit about our expertise, we have helped thousands of teachers now, nearly 15,000, I have to update that. We've helped nearly 15,000 in some form of training with a 95% completion. We have a worldwide reach. The majority are short courses and compliance. Many of the things that we do are level 3 and level 4 quals, and obviously this is one of those. And we have dozens of QTS as well. So we've got a range of things that we kind of help schools with, and there's lots of things for you to be able to kind of learn with us wherever you start your learning journey. This is another webinar in a webinar series, so there's loads of items there where you can actually start thinking about and hopefully just getting you a bit better prepared, better ready to help certain staff members or to develop your staff career, if you will. But now we'll start focusing specifically on the HLTA. So it's developing qualification. It is a step in the right direction depending on where you are. It's something that can be taken, well, first off, if you have certain qualifications that are high enough, or you can follow them from level 3, and then you can move on to a level 5. So this doesn't sit in the same way that we have the qualification levels with the QTS when you're moving into that way, because that's more of a professional formation. While this has professional standards, this is something that actually has a level assigned to it as well. So after this, you can move into a level 5, and obviously you can then move into maybe a degree at level 4, 5, and 6. Different years, different levels. But again, it's up to you. But you're here now to look at this and just understand it's a bit of developing qualification. We'll go through some of those standards and items. It's a very robust qualification. It's been around a long time. It's tried and tested. Many people have done it. I think it's 55,000 people currently registered to do the HLTA, or have been registered to do the HLTA in the last 10 years. And also I'm going to give you a brief introduction to our platform, so you can see the way that it works and the way that it ties together on our platform, and the way that you will be able to learn and develop and have feedback, depending again on how it's being used. So without further ado, I move on to some of the basics. So this is really important if you're looking to develop as a teaching assistant, because not everyone wants to develop as a teacher, which is absolutely fair and right. Some people want to have that supportive role, want to have that more communicative role with their students to help develop and support them in certain ways and certain angles. When you are a TA and when you are a high-level TA, you do get to actually spend more time. HLTA more than a TA will have more authority with it, because the HLTA will also direct other TAs as well. But you get an idea of how to work with the student. You get the idea within how you can do micro assessments that are more one-to-one or one-to-small group based than necessarily on a whole class, which can be very effective. You get to learn some of the ins and outs of actually working with some of the students in a one-to-one in a smaller capacity as well. So how you might take items that the teacher has given, break them down in certain ways if you're working with students' certain needs, or if obviously you're working in a way that actually pushes and develops students. You actually look at different ideas of how you decide work material that's given to fit the student and the learner in front of you, and that's all the way that has gone through. As I mentioned earlier, there is a set of professional standards for the HLTA, so you'll be trying to cover and hit all those standards, much in the same way that you would hit a set of qualifications and standards for becoming QTS, but obviously these have a very different bend, and the observations that are done on you, I think it's only one that you need doing, but obviously that's kind of advice that changes time and time, and you can do this within 3 to 6 months if you so wish. So we'll be looking at a range of professional standards. Now, to look at some of those standards per se, we will be looking at the And here, I'll just make that a little bigger actually, because I think some of you won't be able to see that. And so here you see it's split into our professional attributes. And again, it's really looking at how you carry yourself around the school, how you look at yourself in the body, and obviously how you evidence this and discuss this and reflect on this. We're also looking here about how you will show and develop your professional knowledge and understanding to actually understand that you have the basics, make sure that you've got the level 2s or the GCSE equivalents in a range of items that you're doing, and also obviously knowing how to help and develop with learners who have SEN, etc. And all this is covered on our system with a range of videos which I will take you to shortly in the latter half. We'll be looking also at your professional skills, the planning and expectations, monitoring assessment, teaching and learning activities. And again, this is what I was talking about earlier, how you advance things with individuals, how you advance with schools, whole groups. And obviously you will be doing the HLTA. So maybe some expectation of working with whole classes without the presence of the assigned teacher, but that should be rare. Remember, one of the main things you don't want to be in a situation of is that you will be used as a teacher in any way, shape or form, because that's not really where you are, although you can fit in at different times depending on the need and the way of the school, but it shouldn't really be the way. You should be really focusing on extenuating and excelling where you are, but obviously if you are interested in going into teaching, taking on some of that whole class responsibility will really, really help you. And really I would look at it as a point and a way to develop skills. Lots of people who start in teaching have also done some teaching assistant work. I know myself I did. There are obviously many routes into teaching, but a lot of people actually do it by going back, doing a few weeks experience here as a TA and then helping and then developing there. And some people, like I say, don't want the responsibility of the class, and so the HLTA is a really good look for them to move on from. It is a pre-service qualification if you are starting before obviously taking your school career, and there's full of items with best practice qualifications, the way that you will work across the institution, the way that you will work person to person. And remember, it's a lot of it is about training you to develop students and to support students. So really it's a very supportive item. Now, it's not academic in any way. I think this is one of the things that people like to know because they wonder if they're going to have to write essay after essay, and it's not really set out like that. We're going to take a brief look at the course in a second so you can see the type of thing and the type of assessment that will be set up for you, but really it's very welcoming as a course, something that you get into at this level, and it's really useful to you to help you develop and grow. And so where this sits in the scheme of items, the HLTA is a level 4 qualification, and so where you might be doing, if you've come from level 3 or if you've got your GCSEs and you've jumped straight into level 4, which you can do, you can go in there and you can think, well, what career routes do you want afterwards? You can move on to another level 4, which will take you into early years, and obviously that's really helpful if you have HLTA and then you want to really go into early years care, etc. You can develop that way. If you're looking more to get into teaching in colleges or teaching in sixth forms, then you can start to, or with adults, you can start to use the level 5 diploma in education and training and start to look there. But as again, if you start to build, whichever you do the level 4 or 5, and you might also just want to continue this dual professional academic route or dual professional towards academic route, and you can start to move into the level 6 and the level 7 qualifications as well. But obviously it's really important to note too that you can also just go into thinking about your teaching career afterwards, and a lot of people who are HLTAs do move on and up the ladder, but a lot of there's a very notable number that want to be in that situation and stage, and they'll hold and progress from there. So very worth doing, really worth doing, even if you have qualifications and other items and you just want to know how to work with it. So if you're a parent looking to actually think about how would I do this, or how would I volunteer, how would I help my own child, HLTA is a good way to actually know and understand how the essence of supporting children works, and also, forgive me for that beep beep, how the essence of supporting children works, and it can be very useful in your own home as well. So yeah, that's the basics. Hopefully that gives you an idea. I'm going to break for a second here and just give you a time for just some comments and some sharing as we do, and really appreciate any questions. Does buoy me to know that some of the stuff that we've shared with you is of use, so please send any questions through, and then in a moment I will go through into the second section. Okay, so thank you very much. It was just a couple of seconds of me floating around on my screen there. What you see where I've logged in. Here we have all our different items, but I'm just going to come to the level 4 so you can understand how our system works and what we do. So we try and be very supportive of every learner that we have on us. We also try and make sure that you have all the information to hand that you need. So as you'll see, you work through different levels, and there will be an assessment section at the end. And And the assessment section at the end will have all the work that you quote unquote have to do to pass. But within each one there, you see here is a range of videos trying to support you to help you understand what's expected from you at the HLTA level. And then as you go in to any of the videos, you'll see what will happen is the video will play and you will have a range of different further reading resources. Now there's nothing compulsory here, but this is where the information is, and obviously it's expanded in your learning hours down with these sections. Now within each video, when you're in assessment mode, what you'll see is a reflection point. And this is really helpful for you to be able to consider and summarize things in your videos. And you'll also be able to see, if you're buying a school subscription, different students' answers. Obviously, if you're buying a single subscription, you won't, but this is one of the ways that we encourage learning, because you're able to see other colleagues' answers in what's going on. So you have some kind of barometer, something to actually judge and see against. So here in this example, you would summarize the personal and external factors that can affect a child's development. That would be from the video, and obviously from the supporting notes. And then you would go through the course like that. Once you finish one, you can move on to the next, and then you just go through the course as you so wish. And obviously this can be watched on your phone, it can be watched at any time, day or night. And then ultimately, when you feel like you have completed all those items, you will see, I'm just going to go to, you'll only have one of these, forget all the courses we have, forgive my system here. Here you'll see, it will give you a complete tracking of what you've started, what you've begun, where you are and anything. And if you want to jump back into a video at any point, it will simply tell you what you've started and where you've watched and where you've answered. But most critically for everyone, you have to complete all the assessment items, because they're the items that we would put up and in for your award, and to hopefully see if you get it. You will have mentor assistance toward the end. When you feel you've complete, a mentor will look over your folder to ensure that you are up to scratch, or they will ask you to complete it, and all your work ultimately will get compiled into a workbook. And so here you see there's some questions I put just to help you get thinking. Again, these aren't compulsory, all the ones inside the video, they're just there to help you remember, recall, develop, and hopefully improve. So I hope that gives you an understanding of how the system works. I hope that lets you know it's very, very simple. You come in, you watch a video, you do the reading, you add a comment if you want, and then when you feel like you've done all of it, then you submit and answer all the assessment questions, and we're there to assist you with that part as well. So hopefully that was straightforward. Everything we do have is based on video. If you do want to record evidence, etc., you will base that as well on video. And obviously, it's good to have the evidence as well, supporting that you do hit the professional standards that are required of you. So yeah, hope that was a good introduction. Really, really appreciate you all joining me on this, and I very much look forward to seeing some of you on the course. Thank you very much. Have a lovely afternoon.